Thanks for joining us for another edition of Weekend Winners, and hopefully we are going to steer you into a few winners this weekend because it's night 2 of the Carnival again this Saturday night at Albion Park. 10 races with action getting underway at 5:08. Our guests tonight will include Leonard Kane, fresh from his big night last weekend, and Hayden Barnes. They won't be far away. Well, the Kane train rolled into town in Brisbane last week, night 1 of the Carnival, and he left the station with a winning treble, and he's got a great book of drives again this Saturday night, and he joins us first up. Leonard, appreciate the time.
No worries, thank you.
Great night at the office last week. Here's hoping it continues again this week, night 2.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we had a fantastic night the other night. Everything raced big, so no, we're extremely happy with the way everything raced.
Well, you're straight into it on race 1 on Saturday night. Roll one over, one of your winners from last week. First up, he raced well, just had a tricky draw last week. Front row draw, led all the way and looked very good winning.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he had a superb run last Saturday night, and he was very impressive. So I think he'll be very hard to beat again this week. Obviously, we're drawing a little bit further off the track this week, but I think if he can lob handy enough, he's going to run another massive race.
No doubt this is probably a little stronger than what he beat last week. All you can do is win, but he looks like he's still got a fair bit of upside.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, he's got all the right attributes. You know, he's very fast, he's versatile, so I'm not really concerned with the draw. I just think if we get the right run and can lob handy enough, I think he'll be right in the mix again.
I think it's fair to say your main dangers are drawn to your inside. Tommy Under Fire, El Gran Senor, Timeless Appeal, so at least you know where they're going to be early.
Yeah, well, that's exactly right, Chris. So, yeah, no, like you say, you know, I think all the chances are going to be pretty handy, so it'll be a very good race, but I think he'll run another massive race.
Okay, we skip across to race 3, one of the features on Saturday night, the listed Mr. Feelgood Open, and here's last week's winner. This is the horse that you equalled the track record with in CRUZ. He was just awesome last week. Great front-running display.
Yeah, he was fantastic last week, Chris. He felt absolutely, you know, superb the whole way. So he travelled great, he done it well, and he sort of felt like he had more left in the tank too. So I think he'll run another. If he can lob handy enough again, I think he'll run a massive race again this week. You know, I'm pretty confident leading into this one again. So no, I think he'll run a massive race.
Well, just looking at it, it's almost carbon copy of last week, with those drawn to your inside, so you should have no trouble leading this field. I suppose the unknown, he goes from the mile to 2100. Any concern there?
No, not at all, Chris. He runs over the distance well still, so no, I'm not worried about distance. Like you say, on paper it looks like it should nearly pan out the same way as it did last week, so we can only hope for that, and hopefully he gets the right run and he'll be sharp again this week, I think, so no.
Well, you had a good look at Colt 31. He was parked on your outside last week. It looks like he's going to be outside you again from his draw.
Yeah, I think so, Chris. Obviously, that's the way it looks. So I think we're both going to be pretty handy there early, and he's going to keep me honest the whole way. But I think if CRUZ races the way he did last week, well, it's going to be a pretty good race. You know, it's going to be a good fight right there to the finish.
Were you surprised that you equalled the track record? Did it feel like you were going that sort of tempo last weweek?
I knew we were rolling along, but I probably thought we went a bit more like 51 rather than, the 50 and 4. But yeah, I did know we were going quick, and he felt super doing it, so I wasn't surprised that we did, yeah.
Okay, your other winner from last week lines up in race 5. That's Culture King. This guy looks good. He's a versatile horse, but he's got good ability, and he looked like he just bolted in last week and had gears left.
Yeah, that's right, Chris. Yeah, no, he's a gorgeous type. And he's got all the right attributes. You know, he's fast, he's tough. So, like you say, I think he's going to run another massive race again this week, and he was superb there Saturday night. You know, he really impressed me the way he raced. So, I think he's going to be another top contender this week.
Do you plan to lead from gate 2?
Yeah, I think so, Chris. Yeah, if possible, I think we will, yeah.
All right. Well, he certainly looks a terrific chance, Culture King. His 2 runs have been terrific. That first up second against Roll with Lachlan was good. You meet Roll with Lachlan here, but the barrier draws have been reversed, so it's clearly to your advantage.
Yeah, absolutely, Chris. So, no, I think, like you say, I think he'll run another massive race this week, and, yeah, hopefully, he puts in another good run. But, yeah, I really like Culture King, so I think he'll race very well this week, and he'll be pretty super.
Okay, the listed Fleur de Lille Ladyship Stakes. Delightful Tara had her first look at Albion Park last week. Had a tricky draw. Again, it's a tricky draw, so it looks tough.
Yeah, that's right, Chris. Yeah, we'll probably have to drive her for luck a bit this week. You know, we got a lot of there's a lot of power in that race, and it is a good race. And like you say, the draw is very tricky, so I think we're probably going to have to look at probably going back and driving you know, driving for luck a bit, you know, and just driving the race to how we see it.
Okay, and in race 9, the Group 3 Pride's Easy Feed Trotters Cup, Gallion's victory represents the Cray Cross stable. First look at Albion Park, only a recent addition to the stable. What can you tell us about this guy?
He seems like a quick beginner, Chris, from the stand, so hopefully he gets away quick and lob's handy enough. He was a little bit, you know, the reports back from his run at Menangla on Saturday night, he was a little bit, you know, went into a little bit fat. So hopefully he'll race on well this week. He'll be tightened up from that run and trained on well throughout the week, hopefully. So I think again, like I say, if he lobs handy enough, I think he'll run a very nice race too, you know. So he seems a nice type of horse.
And just looking at his form cards, distance is not going to be any problem. The further they go, the better he likes it.
That's right, yeah, no, it does seem that way. So like I say, if we can lob handy enough there, if we can step away and, you know, be up the front end, hopefully, then I think he'll run a very, very strong race. So.
Well, it's a great book of drives again. What's the key drive for you at this point?
Probably CRUZ, I think. Yeah, I think he looks a bit more of a standout. So hopefully, like I say, as long as everything goes to plan and he gets the right trip and whatnot, I think he'll be right there in the finish again this week. So no, very exciting book, like you say. I think everything will race well, but he probably looks a bit more of a standout than, you know, the rest of them this week. So.
All right, well, congratulations for the treble last week. Here's hoping that good form continues. We'll see you trackside.
Thanks very much.
Hayden Barnes is about to jump into the hot seat to talk about his drives on Saturday night. And his first drive comes up in one of the features. It's race 3, the listed Mr. Feelgood Open. As we know, Hayden is the regular driver for Northview Hustler. Hayden, appreciate the time.
Yep, thank you.
Last week you had gate 7, couldn't get into it over the mile. We step up in distance on Saturday night, 2,138 metres, but you've got a horrible draw here with gate number 11. It doesn't look easy on paper.
No, it doesn't. It's very similar to last week, really, and we just got to, hopefully we get some slice of luck in the run.
27.7, 26.5, the closing sectionals out of last week's feature, the Wandai's made. Looking back at the replay, he was as good as anything in that race, but you just can't do anything given those splits.
No, you can't. It makes it nearly impossible to make any ground, and he sort of, when I pulled him out, he actually did let down quite well, and he actually found some. So to let down running home those sectionals is still a very good effort.
To you, does it look identical to last week where CRUZ is going to be in front and Colt 31 outside him again?
Yeah, that's how it looks on the fields, and it's sort of probably what everyone's going to be aiming for. It's going to be very similar to last week, I reckon.
And the fact that our Uncle Sam, who's the newcomer to the race this week, he's drawn the inside of the second row, it makes things difficult for him and others, I suppose, trying to, you know, force some pressure.
It does. It's a lot of the powers sort of, well, we're all over the shop really, so it's going to be, it's the 4 and the 5 will press forward, and then the rest it's sort of, well, hopefully you lob somewhere handy for all of us, really.
So is it a case of waiting for next week when we go around over the longer trip and the Lucky Creed? Is that the race that we're going to focus on now with Northview Hustler?
We'll take it as it goes, and if he gets a good trip this week, well, we'll be happy. But if we get a draw next week, it'll be even better. You can finally do something in one of these feature races. Is
this the best he's come up for a preparation? I know you've had your fair share of issues with him, but right now he seems as good as he's ever been.
He's flying at the moment. He's probably felt the best he ever has since we've had him, so that's really good. It's a shame the other races are sort of later on, because at the moment he's probably nearly peaking.
Race 6, you've picked up a drive in the Derby. This is the feature on Saturday night. Will the Wizard, this is the first time you've sat behind this guy. What are you expecting?
The draw is probably tricky for him as well, and he's a nice horse, and if we get a bit of luck, he won't be far away. He has shown that he's got a good turn of foot and run a big mile before, but he's going to be nice to sit off the pace there, and he'll hit the line good.
We know he's a good short course horse. He's got a couple of big recent victories at Albion Park in fast time, 52.4, 52.5. He was beaten last time out at the 2,138 metres, and some would say probably a little disappointing, but the form out of that race has been good. Tactical response beat him. He raced well last week.
Yeah, that's good form lines to go off, and he's a very consistent pacer, so all he needs is a bit of luck and a nice tempo set up on front, and he's definitely going to hit the line. Is
Governor JUJON clearly the horse to beat?
Oh, I think so, definitely. He's got a nice draw there, and he'll be probably pressing forward and getting nice and handy where we'll be probably out the back somewhere.
Yeah, the fillies look like they're going to be competitive in this race.
Yeah, they will. Gender and Strike went really good in the Oaks, so I'm tipping she'll want to get nice and forward as well.
Yeah, looks a good race, the Derby. The other feature on Saturday night that you're part of is the Group 3 Trotters Cup. GEE Up NEDDY, your own runner. This is going to be his 4th run back on Saturday night. There was improvement last time out. Tell me what you think.
Yeah, it was a lot better. He's had a lot of troubles getting him back to the races this time. He got sick and then he had another spell and come back, and I couldn't get him trotting properly, and he still doesn't look that great, but the improvement was a lot better, so I was happy.
You know all of these horses that you're up against, probably the exception, Galleon's victory in Il Parada, but if he finds his best, he's well up to a race like this.
Yeah, definitely. He's back off the front. I know we got the second row, but off the front, and the way he went last week, it's actually very pleasing for me just to have him back, and hopefully he can keep improving, and he won't be far away either, really.
Do you want him sort of to get as handy as you can possibly be soon after the start?
Yeah, that's the plan. One good thing about him, he always steps good, so that's a plus for him. He's always up, steps really quick, and we should be able to get nice and handy, I think.
Well, 3 drives, they're all in the features, and they all have a common theme here. They've all got second-line draws.
Yeah, I don't know if it's my luck or just how it is, but yeah, it's going to make it very tricky for all of them now.
Hey, appreciate the time. We'll see you trackside.
Yep, thank you.
It's a great program coming up again this Saturday night. Plenty of stars on display, and I'm going with the biggest one this weekend in the main race. Race 6, Horse 5, Governor JUJON. This is set to be his final run for a good amount of time. It's been a super season, and I think he goes out with another feature race victory, taking the Garrard's Group 2 Southeast Derby. I'm marking him the best bet. Race 6, number 5, Governor JUJON. If you are betting this weekend, please do so responsibly.